It's the semifinals of this week's KSL. And spawning in the upper right-hand corner of Alcyone, we have Talon's Dark. His opponent in the lower left-hand corner, it is none other than Twisted Mind's Classic. All-time banger of a matchup here. Classic already scouting Dark's hatch. Oh my god, and dropping a pylon. Oh, you'll love to see it. That's fantastic. Dark is going to scout this, it looks like. Assuming that Overlord keeps going. So that's important. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, a lot of new viewers today, be sure to give that follow button a hit on Twitch. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Been posting a lot of YouTube videos. Would really appreciate the subscribes. And thank you guys for watching. Good to have you here. As Classic's Forge is finishing up and the first cannon goes down, the probe squeezes out, and Dark, he's in a dire position. What do you do here? Do you let the hatch finish? Pylon gets canceled. Cannon does not get canceled. You let the hatch finish, or you just take a base. Maybe double expand. Nexus going down back at home for Classic. He's already got a gate, so we can start up a Cybercore here shortly. Second cannon goes down. Are we going to see a third one here for Classic? Ooh, Overlord taking priority. That's a couple hits not on this hatchery. Looks like just going to be two cannons. Trying to keep as minimal of an investment as possible here is Classic. Does mean these cannons might be vulnerable to some lings or some roaches. I don't think roaches will be out in time. That roach one is about halfway done. Probe looked like it was checking to see what was going on, but doesn't really get in to see anything important. Queen going to start working on the cannon, but these cannons are just focused on the hatch. It looks like that, my friends, is a dead hatchery. Where is this drone going, Dark? He's going to return those 5 minerals. Gets them. Gets them back. Okay, the drone's just going home. No problem. This is a problem for Dark. He's got roaches on the way, but he doesn't have a second hatchery. This is now one base for Dark. He's just going to run across the map, okay? Shield batteries going down here for Classic, as well as a cannon. He's going to need a backup pylon or two. This is why, guys, if you're going to cannon rush, put your Nexus in the wall. Roaches are already hitting. These were very close roaches. That's why he mined out these minerals, so the roaches could get here super fast. It's only 2 adepts. Warp Gate is only halfway done. Dark, he needs to crack this, and he needs to crack it soon. Super Shield Battery turns on. Dark backs up. Doesn't want to waste his time with that overcharge, but there's a second battery up. The pylon is in the wall, which means the Lings can't just sneak in anymore, but Ravagers are starting to morph. There's nothing here that can deal with Ravagers except for, hey, look at that, it's an Oracle. That Oracle is going to start working on these Ravagers. I wouldn't hate to see a Void right here for Classic. There are 2 Queens walking across the map as well. The Oracle just sticking around to try to kill this Ravager. He's not going to get it, but the Ravager is 1 tap. So if that Ravager gets a little bit too close to an Adept, it could just go down. Right now he's going to try to bile down this pylon. He could use the shield batteries to keep the pylon alive. It looks like Warp Gate is going to finish, and that's going to be on just the single gate. Okay, just a single gate. Oracle gets back home. Is there a second Oracle? No, but there is a Voider. Hey, look at that. Classic built the thing I said it would be good for him to build. Ravager is going to pull way back, but the Void Ray wants it anyways. And he will get it. And there's only 1 Ravager left here. Dark. In a bit of a tough spot. Pylon might go down. Dark does have a Bane Nest, 5 Banelings morphing. He's got a natural as well. Maybe he can get enough damage done to utilize that, but in the meantime, he really needs to get something done. The last Ravager falls. It's Queen Ling now. The Banelings running forward. These light units out front going to be in some danger. They're going to get smashed through. The wall is fully busted, but it doesn't matter. There's cannons behind it, and Dark just taps out immediately. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. I gotta say, guys, I have not seen a cannon rush win a game of StarCraft in a long time. And Classic, he did it, dude. I mean, that's not true. Like 3 weeks ago, Clem lost to a Cannon Rush by Boanan, but between two extremely high-level players, when was the last time you saw a top 5 Protoss in the world Cannon Rush and win a game? Been a minute. It's been a minute. That's good. That was good. I'm actually so happy. Dark was trying to be cheeky with the gold base, and Classic said, I could be cheeky too, bud. I know how to turn the cheek on. And he turned the other cheek. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. StarCraft's a beautiful game. 2024. We're still seeing it. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Site Delta for map number 2. It is Talon's Dark. Didn't cancel the hatch and just take the natch like maybe he should have. Tried to go for the one base, and it blew up in his face. His opponent in the lower right-hand corner is Twisted Minds Classic. So now maybe we'll get a bit of a macro game. I mean, this is Dark and Classic, so the chances of some aggression seem fairly high in this match, but you never know. You never know. I kind of hope we get a macro game out of this series. At least one. At least this game's nothing super cheeky from the start, so we'll at least get a few minutes in. It's feeling like we'll at least hit the 7-minute mark. We'll see. But yeah, this match is always a banger between these two. I mean, Dark never disappoints. Even if he just gets outright bopped in a series, I feel like it's always because he's willing to take gambles and risks, right? He's willing to kind of put it on the line. And it means that the matches are always interesting, even if it's a 2-0 or an 0-2, because he's going to give us something. You know, Dark gives us something. Even his macro play is like, it's unlike pretty much anybody else. If he decides to just play it out. You'll see him at a hive at like 6.5 minutes and using spells like nobody else. Or, God, there was one game he played against Beyond where he just built like 44 swarm hosts. He had 44 swarm hosts at once, which is an insane amount of supply to have in swarm hosts. It was beautiful. It's beautiful. Again, even his macro games are so interesting. Guys, I love the big emotes. Keep them coming. The gigantic emotes are beautiful. Is that little tot? That's adorable. Little toot. Little tater tooter. More giant dog emotes, please. Please and thank you. But this start seems to be pretty by the books. Classic opening pretty standard. Not too surprised. I do feel like Classic is a lot of his aggression is very build order aggression, where I feel like he'll just nail one specific build order over and over again. And I feel that way because the last KSL, Classic played against Solar in the semis and then Dark in the finals. And he won both of those without losing a map. So 5 games in a row, PVZ, didn't drop a map, played the exact same build all 5 games. And I'm like pretty confident it's this build because he's going to go Glaives again. It was just
he is a man,
a Stargate Oracle opener into 4-gate Glaives. It's extremely standard, and he just sometimes he had to go into the follow-up, but like the build just won every time. Thank you so much, Tater Tutor, for gifting a sub to Flapjack. Flapjack, welcome back to the flock. Wow, that was really hard to say. Flapjack, welcome back to the flock. Whew. But then what was really funny, so Classic beats Dark 3-0, right? 3-0s him, uses the same build all 3 games, kills him. If I'm Dark, I'm salty, right? Well, what happens next is they both play in Tasteless's tournament, the EVO one, with the EVO mod. Dark is playing StarCraft 1 Zerg, and Classic's playing StarCraft 2 Protoss. Game 1 of that tournament, Classic uses the exact same build and beats Dark again. Dark playing StarCraft 1 Brood War Zerg still can't beat the build. And there's like one other person in chat. Gauntlet Wizard was the only other person who had watched KSL and then like realized it was the same build. And it was just so funny. God, it's incredible. All right, Classic's coming in here with the Glaive to Depths. Now the Baneling Nest is almost done. A bunch of Lings on the way here for Dark. Can Classic get some damage done again? Can he do it? Ooh, that's a good Ling surround. Without any Banelings here, I don't know if he's going to have enough to close this out and kill all these Adepts. The Adepts threatening to shade into the main. They are going to do so. But the Lings are here. The drones have been pulled away. So far, looking so good for Dark on the defense. But as I say that, a couple more Lings here at the third base. And that all of a sudden is 9 dead drones. How did that happen? It was 2. And then I look down here, and now it's 9. That's insane. Classic, in the meantime, has a third base done. He's on 62 probes. This is not like a normal Glaive to Depths build. Classic he's got a great economy behind this. But Dark says, well, you wanted me on 44 drones. I'm on 44 drones. Classic's trying to get more damage done. Great Evo block, great surround. Dark going to just absolutely stomp this out very quickly. And in the meantime, he's got 16 Banes on the other side of the map. There are some sentries. There is an Oracle. But this is still a lot of Ling Bane. Oh, and they're coming from both sides. Baneling's trying to smash through. Force field's going down. Beautiful force field. Super shield battery turns on. Oh my god. Classic. What is this hold? This is what Protoss dreams are made of. Look at him go, dude. What? This is insane. That should be illegal. Can Dark actually get in here? Oh, the Immortal getting caught. That's expensive. The pylon goes down. But there's a backup pylon for the shield battery. It doesn't matter. The Immortal goes down, but that is consolation prize here for Dark. Jesus. Oh, excuse me. I had to sneeze in the middle of that fight. Just holding it off. I cannot believe Classic held there. That is insane. Actually insane. I think he just lost 1 Stalker in that fight, and the Immortal. Yeah, excuse me again. The positioning of the sentries in the mineral line, so he could just 1 force field each side, and then just hold in there with a shield battery. Couple units on the outside to tank a little bit. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And Dark is in a terrible position. He's down 0-1, so he's going to fight it out. You know, he's not just out of here. I mean, it's Dark also. He's not just going to leave. But, like, Dark's in a bad spot. And look at Classic's army, guys. These are Blink Stalkers. He's got sentries. He lost 1 Immortal, but he's got 2 more. There's a Warp Prism here. There's an Observer to clear creep. And Dark's got some Ravagers and a bunch of Lings. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Force Fields on the backside. These Stalkers, they do have Blink. They're going to jump on top of the Queens. More Lings coming down, though. These Stalkers blunked into a bad spot. Okay, hold on. Dark is making this happen. This looked like a terrifying push, but the Ling numbers, just the pure numbers here for Dark are going to overwhelm it. Oh my god, the Biles hit that Immortal. The Warp Prism went down to the Queens. Classic is left with absolutely nothing back at home. I mean, he's got like a few units, but look at that army supply doubled here for Dark, and it's so many Zerglings. The Blink Stalker is just going to struggle against this many Lings. He does again find beautiful positioning here. back behind the pylons and the gateways and such. Oh, but I don't think Classic can hold this base. There's Ravagers outside of his base. But Zerglings, Banelings are morphing. Classic being so bold. Biles going down on these warping in Zealots. Classic going to hold up on the high ground, but he is forced to cancel that base. As the Lings and Banes come back up, there's no force fields here, which means the Banelings can get in and get on top of some of these juicy Stalkers or these probes. 9 probes going down, 18 probes going down. Classic dropping the 2 Gs as Dark closes out game number 2. Actually cannot believe Dark won that game. Classic maybe getting a little overzealous with that attack. That's actually insane. Dark was just like, what if I just build infinity Lings? And then he attacks me with Blink Stalkers. It turns out that was a pretty good call. Classic was in a very good spot. He was in an extremely good spot. And I think he thought he was in an even better spot than he was. Or he made the classic mistake, which is thinking Dark was droning. A thing which Dark definitely wasn't doing. Dark often lulls people into this, his opponents into this like false sense of security, where it's very common for a Protoss to just be like, okay, at this stage of the game, it makes the most sense for the Zerg to just pump out 20 drones and then get into units, and you try to hit at that timing, so you're hitting them before the units are ready. But Dark does this thing called not building all those drones and instead building a bunch of units. Worked out really well there. That was a dark move. It was truly a dark move. Speaking of which, his opponent, our player in the upper left-hand corner of Ghost River, is none other than Dark, making the W's come down when we thought it was going to be GG. His opponent in the upper left, upper right. Jesus, words are hard, guys. It is Classic. I don't know, Dark is so fun to watch. It does feel like he drones or builds units at counterintuitive times, which can kind of throw his opponents off. I feel like he gets a lot of wins over Protoss because they assumed he's been droning, and then when they start pushing into him, he's just got like a ton of units. Exactly like we saw last game. Seen many a Protoss lulled into that. But I feel like that kind of off-kilter play works in his favor a lot. And it's something I talk about, too. He likes to throw his opponent's builds off. Because in a weird game where the build orders aren't quite lined up like you'd expect them to be, Dark is great. He plays off of vibes. And just pure intuition sometimes. So if he can make the game kind of weird, I feel like Dark often has an advantage against opponents. It's the same thing that, like, I don't know, I feel like SOS and Hero can be really good at. The weirder the game is, the better they are. Classic, though, blocking the natural hatchery. Sometimes Dark doesn't let that happen. He will force the natural hatchery to be able to be taken, but it looks like in this game he's totally fine just taking his third, playing it out. I have a strong feeling that Classic's plan is to go for Glaive to Depths again. While we did finally see the build not work in the last game, I still feel like those Adepts put Classic in a fantastic spot. Obviously, his defense at the third put him in an incredible spot. But, yeah, I mean, just the attack across the map brought it all crashing down upon his ears. I did hear that Flash was coming back. We was talking about SOS potentially coming back. I would love to see more SOS, but I mean, SOS has been playing, but I just don't think he's in the kind of shape he'd want to be for a tournament. But Flash is apparently coming back and figuring out the meta and getting back into Brood War, which is just cool. That's just cool. Flash is he's just the greatest. He's the goat of goats, you know? His lings being as annoying as physically possible for being 6-lings. Oh, okay, hold on. Classic changing it up. He's not going for the glaives. Twilight Council and a Forge. That tells me Blink. I don't know why. I mean, it could be Charge also. I feel like it's Blink. I don't know why. I guess it's just like what the build order is, but it is funny that if I see the Twilight Council on its own, that's glaives. If I see it with the Forge, it's like a 70-30 Blink charge. Hey, look at that. It's Blink. Wow. It's incredible. I do kind of like when things are a little bit predictable. As a commentator, it's really nice to be able to just be like, oh, it's, yeah, like this thing. This is this build. And it just is that build. Because I'm not smart enough to figure out the build if it's really weird. I can barely figure it out if it's standard. So I'm just happy when it is standard and when I get to call it the right thing. It makes me feel like I know something about StarCraft for a minute. Just for like 1 minute, though. Oh, Dark getting quite a few roaches out, getting prepared for some harassment, perhaps. Or maybe some Glaive Adepts coming across the map, as he hasn't been able to scout what's going on over here. So he might be expecting it to be Glaives once again. But the Blink build here at a Classic might catch him a little off guard. Ooh, going straight into a Templar Archives as well. Gonna be able to get some Archons out to help support those Stalkers against, let's say, Mass Ling, which seemed to go pretty well last game for Dark, but a couple Archons might have made that a little bit of a different story. Could also get into Storm. Pretty good upgrade. Dark going straight for the Infestation Pit, so I imagine he's going to be heading towards Hive. Although, I did mention earlier Swarm Hosts. Dark is one of the very few Zerg players we see still making Swarm Hosts. Even trying them against Protoss. Yeah, like Cham does it too? I don't know. I haven't cast much Cham this year, but I feel like Cham's the only other Zerg I see semi-regularly making Swarm Hosts in this matchup still. Maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe you guys have seen some other matchups. Maybe there's some like European Zergs doing it. I don't know. I feel like I never see Swarm Hosts in this matchup anymore unless Dark feels cheeky. And hey, look at that. Dark he's feeling a sort of way. Feeling like Swarm Hosts are the answer right now. Yeah, Infestation Pit has not been scouted, so Classic does not know this is coming. Blink Stalkers and Storm are here, but still can be a bit dicey. We'll have to see how this first wave of Swarm Host goes. I like that Dark is clearing out these rocks. The Swarm Host can just walk here and pop those into the natural. That could be huge. He wouldn't even need a Nighty Swarm if he could just run them around like this. Both players do have fourth bases coming up. Excuse me, coming up. Dark doesn't have a lot of workers, but you don't really need them with this many Swarm Hosts. Your army is already so efficient. Classic caught completely out of position. No vision up on the top here of this map, and the double Robo's in a lot of trouble. Dark could just go for the natural Nexus. I think he straight up just gets it. But the Robo's probably the safer bet. He's going to get the cannon as well. Yeah, he gets one Robo. Just fight it out against these units. Any kills here are going to be efficient. That's a good first wave. Not like the best. I feel like killing a Nexus is probably the best you can hope for there, but Very good, very solid first wave, and now Classic has to respond. There's a lot of Ling Roach out here as well, and you got to be really careful not to just overextend. This army is super fragile. Classic does not have a lot of hit points in this army. It can be efficient, it can do a lot of damage with Storm, but it just doesn't have a lot of health. Oh, Dark wants to go in. He wants to go in. Oh, the stasis traps. Really nice stasis trap on the back. Beautiful storms on the front. Is it going to be enough? The Immortal getting jumped on. Swarm hosts are here as well. It looks like the Stalkers are going to live through this, even with a couple of Locusts helping out. In fact, it looks like all of the Locusts are popping. Oh my god, a blink forward. Oh, I don't know about that. Archon going to get targeted down. Stays alive as the Oracles try to help out against this. The Locusts, though, doing their job, keeping this army back for a while. So Dark can get out some more units, some more Lings, some more Roaches. Oracle's doing their best, but they are out of juice now. As the Immortal targets down the last couple of Roaches before it dies. This Archon needs to get back to that shield battery. No, just send it home, Classic. Classic, send it home. And the Swarm hosts are like, hey, what if we just go to the top side again and hit your natural again? What are you going to do about it? Classic does have some cannons, shield battery, an Immortal, and a Stasis Ward here. Which, if I know anything about Locust, means absolutely nothing unless they all get caught in this stasis, which they don't. So the rest of these, everything else is just going to die because Locusts do insane DPS. Oh, super shield battery. It's not enough. Oh my god, they're insane. See, you thought that would stop it, didn't you? You thought that was enough defense. It wasn't. Just going to drop the Robo again. He does have a second Robo in the main, so at least there is that. But behind all this, it's not like Dark's doing nothing back at home. He's out here, he's trading, he's getting damage done, and back at home, he's got 16 Hydras on the way. Seismic Spines is on the way for those Lurkers. And Dark's going to have a very powerful ground army that's going to be very good against Classic's ground army. Classic struggling to do anything against these Swarm hosts as a few Locusts pop against the army, and the rest are going to dive straight back into the natural, a very vulnerable point. I would not hate to see Dark try to rotate these around south and maybe surprise Classic over at this base. But that's a dangerous move without a Nidus Worm to keep them safe. It looks like the shield battery is going to work this time. Shield battery overcharge pretty good. That was only like 2/3 of the Locusts. But this is still keeping Classic back, keeping him focused back at home, and allowing Dark to get these Lurkers out, to get these Hydras out. And now he's got a very strong army. Not a lot of support for these units. No Roaches or Lings here, but... Ooh, blinks forward. Drops another couple of Storms on this. Gets a few more Lurkers. But Dark, he's just going to morph 5 more. He loves to have big Lurker counts. Locust going to dive back in over here. Dropping just a couple at a time to trigger these stasis traps. Another dead Robo. More dead cannons and static defense at this base. And at the same time, huge Lurker counts over here. Oh, just popping units left and right. Classic is struggling right now. He's trying to get out more Immortals. He's actually got 2 Robos behind this. That's so funny. This has become like the decoy Robo. He's just putting cannons and shield batteries up. I mean, he's staying alive very, very well. He's still on 80 probes on 4 bases. Dark doesn't even have a 5th yet. It looks like he wants to take one, but his drone's just kind of chilling. Dark is trying to get damage done, but he hasn't been able to get significant damage done yet. I was expecting those Locusts to get a little bit more done here and there. They just haven't been able to do it yet. Ling's trying to get in now. A few probes are going down, but a lot of Lurkers went down for that. That army supply for Dark, a lot of it is in these Swarmos, which this time the Locusts, they really don't kill anything. They killed like a cannon. This is, the defense is getting better and better for Classic right now. Oh, it's another Lurker just going to die for nothing. Looks like these Lurkers might be able to hold on to this position for now, but... Ah, blink forward there, gets another Lurker. Whoa, doesn't quite get that one. A big Lurker hit, kills like 4 Stalkers. But as I say that, they're replaced by 4 Immortals. Jeez. Alright, Locust gonna pop out here. Yeah, they're just popping on a Zealot. Not really doing too much. Dark gonna try to hit along the bottom side. Their 5th base is finally on the way for Dark, but we've got a Mothership coming out for Classic, as well as more Immortals These Locusts, they're going to kill that gateway. They do a good job. They kill that gateway. Good job, Locusts. Dark trying to maneuver around with his Nidus Worm. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with how well Classic has done against this. With that first wave of Locusts just killing stuff in the natural already. These Lurkers seem really scary. This is pretty scary, though. We have a double prong attack here from Dark, hitting towards the natural and towards this fourth base at the same time. Mothership going to drop a Time Warp and a Cloaking Field, but it's going to die before this engagement finishes up. Classic is going to clear the crap out of this army, but his fourth base is going to go down for it. That is the price he pays, not splitting his army. The Locusts, in the meantime, are actually not doing much here. They might be able to get these Archons if they go for them. They're going to grab the gateway at the front. The fourth base going down is extremely painful. Oh, this Nidus Worm is not getting up, though, which means these units are trapped. They just need to trade as well as they can. But against, 12 Immortals, that's not great. Oh my god, where's the detection? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Scary for a second there. But there's still 12 Immortals out on the field. That is a huge amount of Immortals. Lings and Hydras coming out now for Dark. I feel like Lings could be an answer, but I don't know, man, with all these Archons as well. And still a couple of Storms left over. I think there's 4 Storms on these 2 High Templar right now, or close to it. Swarm Hosts are still alive, though. They're going to go head towards the third base. The fourth is back on the way. Archon is going to spot these Swarm Hosts and then die to them. But Classic's trying to dive in. However, I think the concave of Lurkers here might be too much. More Lurkers on the way as well. There was 1 Carrier in production. Oh my god, the Carrier ran into like 5 Hydras. Oh no, Classic. Oh, this was going okay for him, honestly. This game has been going so much better for him than it had any right to. Oh, but now the Observers are getting hit. Oh, it's staying alive. The Immortals are crushing these Lurkers. It's actually insane how much DPS these Immortals are doing. The problem is, 5 Hydras in the Swarm Host right now are killing the third. They killed that Carrier. Classic doesn't really have anything behind this. This fourth base is devoid of probes. It's finished and it's going to die. Swarm Host coming back. Oh, and we have the surround with the Zerglings. Do we have a recall available? He's going to try to recall as many of these Immortals as possible. 1 dies. Second one doesn't get out of there. Oracle's going to fall as well. Classic losing absolutely everything that he holds dear. I mean, I feel like at this point, Classic just doesn't really have much of a chance to come back. Dark's got this beautifully mining base. Yes, he lost 2 bases, but whereas Classic has almost no mining, Dark has a fully mining base. Dark has Swarm Hosts, which can keep putting on pressure even just like without losing anything, right? For free. And Dark has Hydra Lurker Viper. I don't know if he has any Lurkers out right now. It's just going to be Hydra Viper, but he could morph some more Lurkers in the near-ish future. But right now he's just sending these Locusts out, trying to get what damage he can done. Anything at this point, even just hull damage on Immortals. Again, it's all for free. This army is terrifying, but it's temporary. Classic can't replenish it. He's long distance mining from his fourth to his natural right now. That's the kind of position Classic is in. Not a good spot to be in. Oh my god, look at these High Templar try to use their attack to actually hit these Swarm Hosts. They both get yoinked. There are still a few more High Templar here, but not a lot of energy left on them for their various spells. Storms do go down on top of the Hydras, but the Locusts are going to come in here as well and join in for the defense. Does Classic actually have enough here to keep this pressure on? I don't know. Losing a few Immortals. He's down to 9. Still a pretty good count. But is it enough? Immortals are pretty good. That's another dead base. And just like 4 Lings hitting over here. Looks like the Zealots will clean them up, but that's still such a minimal investment from Dark to do a bunch of damage to that Nexus. More Lings heading over there now, and even though, again, Classic kills a base, Classic's barely mining at this point. Oh, the next wave of Locusts is here. They're going to get on top of that Archon. Oh, they're even going to get the Immortal on the backside as the last 3 Locusts are left alive. Another base does go down here for Classic, but He's going to lose this one as well. Probe's getting pulled back home, and Classic's mining is just down to almost nothing. He is barely pulling in any money at this point. He's going to kill all the bases he can. But I don't know, it feels like a small consolation. There's a Nidus Worm down here he could kill. Dark is, again, just minimally investing on the other side of the map to get maximal value back. 2 Lurkers and 2 Hydras. Just trying to kill probes, stop this long-distance mining. Classic goes for the recall. He gets everything out of there, at least most of it out of there. He's pulling the probes. The boys are here. I mean, there's nothing to kill anymore. Dark just left. He was like, I did enough damage, I'm out. This is kind of insane. Dark is also now long-distance mining from his 4th to his natural. Dark does have money to put down a hatch, like another hatch, but he's just got the one going right now. Problem is, Classic doesn't even have a Nexus on the way. Let alone any money for anything else. He can either build a Nexus or do something else. He's got 1 mineral patch here. I guess he could mine these out for a grand total of like 60 money. That would really help him, I'm sure. And Dark, his army's just going to slowly but surely get better and better. Classic has already struggled to fight it. And I don't know how he's going to do it now. All right, the probes are going back to mining. Imagine 1 Lurker shot on this probe line. Classic moves out again. This feels like a last-ditch effort. Oh my god. The Locust just going to get on top of it. That's all the Storm's gone. No Archons. This is just going to be Immortals and 3 charge lots. Can they do it? I don't think they can. I don't think they can. Oh, beautiful Blinding Cloud. GG gets called as Dark finally closes out game number 3 and takes down Classic. What a game.